Tricky Whiskey, where we drink whiskey without knowing what it is. I'm Josh.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Eric.
And Joyce is going to tell you what we're drinking.
Today we're drinking Glen Moray Port Cask Finish. This expression from Glen Moray is part of their Elgin Classic lineup, which serves as their entry-level line of expressions. After the single malt is matured in American oak casks, it is then finished in port casks from Porto Cruz for 8 months. This whiskey comes in at 80 proof. We paid $30 for our bottle, with it usually costing around $32. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy!
Thanks, Joyce. We're going to dive in and see what we think of this mystery whiskey. Fruity.
Butter.
Oh.
Yes, I got butter.
I was going to say fruity. Fruity and malty.
Yeah, definitely strong malt.
Yeah, I get malt and butter. It's very thick on the nose.
A little bit of salted popcorn, kind of movie popcorn.
Maybe,
I don't know
maybe. I don't really get that, but
Butter, popcorn.
You guys are on the grain route. I'm on the berry route right now. Berry or citrus? I'm not sure yet.
Citrus I can get. I'm getting like a little bit of it's either orange or lime, which is difficult that you can't tell the difference between those two.
I'm not getting fruit at all.
Orange.
I'm getting very slight sweetness.
Blood orange, to be specific, is what I'm getting. I can see the berry that you're picking up.
It's pleasant. It's a pleasant nose.
Yes, it is.
There's a slight alcohol astringency, but it's not strong.
And I think I'm picking up a little bit of Merlot.
See, now that you say that, I can see Merlot, so I can see like a grape.
Yeah, that's not citrus, obviously.
I don't know if I could say this for sure between a Merlot and a Cab and a whatever.
But definitely a red wine.
Oh, definitely
Yeah.
red wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a sip.
Ooh, that is sweet.
Yeah, it is. Far sweeter than I was expecting.
I'd say a medium short finish.
I'm going to enjoy that palate a little more before I go to finish. But
I know, I just wanted to actually pay attention to it for a second. For me.
something I'm picking up on the palate. I just cannot place it. I think it's that movie popcorn that I was talking about. Anybody finding the finish to be a little dry?
Yeah, dry, a little oak. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say tannic.
No.
I would say dry.
No, it doesn't have that bite that a tannic would have.
Yeah.
No, there's no bite to it whatsoever. It's
a nice smooth whiskey all the way through. Nothing astringent. Some oak spice.
On the finish, you mean?
No, I mean completely.
I thought the nose was a little bit astringent. I thought the palate was slightly more, and the finish wasn't at all.
I think the malt presence is very much present in the nose and the palate. But when you get past that, I think there's a lot of sweetness and berries, specifically for me. I'm not getting this like the butter.
I'm definitely getting a little bit of butter on the palate. Not picking it up on the finish, but I do see what you're talking about with the berries on the finish.
A little bit of grass and straw. Definitely like some sort of grain there. With the water, I'm noticing that I didn't hit my tongue as much. Like at the front of my tongue, it just hit the back of my tongue. And this time I left it with all the spices. Just kind of skipped the front part of my tongue.
That intrigues me because I did not pick up any spice whatsoever.
I'm talking like oak spice. Not like baking spices or pepper spice. It's just like an oak spice.
The water definitely adds to the buttery aroma.
I said it added to the straw notes or the malty notes, I guess. So maybe that's where
Could be.
Maybe what I'm smelling is malt and what you guys are smelling is butter.
Oh, that's even more sweet.
It's sweeter, but it's like a smoother sweetness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like simple syrup, not as thick as a simple syrup.
This doesn't taste super proofy to me. I feel like I could benefit just from being a little bit higher proof, just to add more flavor to it.
I don't know. I kind of like how light it feels on this one. It's a change. I mean, I don't want to kick up the proof on everything.
I don't know that I would want this one's to be any more proof than it is. Maybe just slightly.
Yeah, I don't think much.
Like 2 proof.
I have a feeling that it's going to be, but I have my guess, not that we're in guesses, but I'm guessing it's like an 80 proofer. Doesn't taste like it's been like diluted to a perfect point of what the distiller or the blender thinks is the correct proof for this whiskey, which is also a pretty safe assumption when we're drinking stuff in our price range.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're not good. It just means that, they're not dialing in specifically for what is the ideal proof for the whiskey. All right, so on the nose, I'm giving this a 4, and the palate a 4, and the finish a 3.5. The nose and the palate just had those berry notes that I love, like in any whiskey I get. If I get like a really strong fruit note or berry note or what have you, I really like that. I do like some other notes, but those are just the notes that really jump out to me and the ones I really like. The finish just was kind of quick. I would have liked it to be a little bit longer, a little bit, I don't know, have a little more flavor. Overall, I just think this whiskey could be benefit from a little more proof and just having some like more oils in it.
The nose, I'm going to give it a 3.0. I really like the red wine, and I like that buttery aroma that we were getting on it. The palate, I'm giving that a 3 as well. A little bit of movie popcorn. It was sweet, a little bit astringent, malty. I really like the palate. And I found it to be a medium finish. Berries were very strong. Adding a little bit of water gave it some improvement in my book, which is rare for me because I'm a neat person. So, I could have this neat. I could have it with a little bit of water or on the rocks maybe. And as far as proofing goes, I liked the way it was as far as proofing. That's just my opinion. But I can see what you mean about the oils. I did find it a little bit watery. Maybe a little bit thicker would have been great.
And for me, I gave it a 4 on the nose. I thought it was very inviting. I liked every note that we got on the nose. It was off to a good start. However, on the palate, I gave it a 2, and on the finish, I gave it a 1.5. Ooh. I thought it fell short on the palate, and the finish was just not great. Maybe it did need more proof. Maybe you're right. Maybe it did need like 6 more proof instead of what I said 2. I think that might have helped it on the palate and finish. It may be just that it set a high bar with the nose and just fell short.
All right, so then we're going to jump into guesses.
I'm going to go with an 80 proof Scotch, $25 retail. I would pay $23.
I'm going with an 80 proof Canadian, $14 retail, and I would pay probably 14, maybe 16.
I think it's a single malt Scotch, 80 proof. I think it costs $30, and I think I would pay $28 for it. All right, let's go ahead and find out what we drank today then. Today we drank Glen Moray Speyside Single Malt Scotch Whisky. Elgin Classic Port Cask Finish.
The port is what gave it that red wine.
Mm-hmm.
And the sweet. Port is very sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the least favorite Scotch I've ever had.
That's honestly super sad for me because I think this is better than any single malt Scotch we've had so far.
I don't think it's the best, but I like it.
You usually don't like fruity things.
I like cocktails, and I love fruity drinks, but I don't know. Maybe I like it fruitier than this.
I don't know that this is a good cocktail.
No.
And that's probably why you have a little bit of bias to it.
All right, so let's go through things real quick. Obviously, yeah, it's a single malt Scotch, specifically from the Speyside region. It is 80 proof. It is at least 3 years old because it is a Scotch. On the back here, it does say that it is finished for 8 months in port. It says port pipes. So I think pipes is a name for a type of barrel. I'll put that down below. And I looked it up. Specifically, it is finished in tawny port casks. And the distillery is obviously Glen Moray. Price, $30. Now, I mean, you don't find many single malt Scotches in our price range.
No.
And the fact that there's one that is cask finished, to me, is super impressive.
I would agree with that. I do think that also speaks to they aren't valuing it if they're selling it for that cheap and it's cask finished. Like, they don't think it's that high of quality, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. Other sites and their ratings: Whiskey Advocate gave this an 85, and Wine Enthusiast gave this an 89, which I think is somewhere between us. More like ours, yeah. Not so much like yours.
No, I trashed that one. I didn't think it was great.
Most common tasting notes on the nose: vanilla, oak, berry, mostly blackberry of those berries, fruit and plum. Palate: cinnamon, spice, caramel, sweet, citrus, and fruit. And then finish: oak, sweet, and spice, which I would agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it just a little more proof to this whiskey could really give it a lot more character.
The longer I think about it, the more I agree with you.
The proof is just really going to build up all those flavors that are already present, and just watering it down to the 80 proof is just, I think, taking a lot away from this whiskey. It would be more than $30, but I'm super curious to know if there is a higher proof version of this out there, and if it's relatively cheap for a higher proof Scotch. From my understanding, some people actually on our comments down below did talk about this whiskey, so thanks for mentioning it. For those who are familiar with us because we're from the Pittsburgh area, I did have to go over to Ohio to grab this bottle.
Good to know. I live close enough to Ohio.
Yeah, the store that's near you is the one I went to get this. That's all I have to say. If you have any comments that you want to leave or thoughts about this whiskey you want to talk about, leave them down below in the comments section. If you like this video, give it a like. And until next time, may the winds of fortune sail you.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be the other guy who says,
This drink's on me.
I think I liked it better than my ratings indicate.